Dear members, today we have gathered again for the nitty-gritty, understanding the nitty-gritty on active. We have been updating all about our professional skills and the latest developments and amendments with the professionals, and accordingly this time also we have requested the Ministry of Corporate Affairs to tell all about the new form active, the last date of which is 25th April 2019. In fact, in the meeting with MCA, it has been told categorically that there won't be any further extension or any extension in this regard, and the last date will be 25th April 2019 only. And to understand all about the nitty-gritty, we are here to make you understand all about this, and for that Mr. Sasiraj Dara, Joint Director, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, is with me. He will be sharing all about this form, and Mr. Bhaskar, who is Industry Principal Infosys, will also tell. We will be interacting continuously like this, and it is just one more endeavor on the part of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India that our professional fraternity should remain updated for this, and government is relying on company secretaries very well. So therefore, I begin this webinar. First of such was held on 7th March, and today again we are meeting for this. All the very best. To understand all about this, we begin this webinar today. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashok Dikshitji, Secretary ICSI. Thank you, ICSI, for giving us one more opportunity to come before the members of this esteemed institute to tell more about Active. As you know, Active has already 1 month has passed. Filings have been going on in Active. We want all our professional colleagues, whatever doubts they have on Active, to kindly share it on this webinar. We'll try to answer as many questions as possible on this webinar. Before we begin, we would like, it may be a repetition, but we would like to again take you through the deck, to the presentation once again, field by field, and make you understand the nitty-gritties of the filing of form of INC 22. In this regard, I would request Mr. Bhaskar to kindly take through the deck.
Thank you, Daraji. Good afternoon, friends, and thanks ICSI for this repeat webinar on Active. I will take you through the complete deck, field by field. Okay. First, what is the objective of this Active form? It is to identify and monitor through a single form Active the companies violating various applicable provisions of Companies Act 2013, and to enable common public to be aware of know your company status of companies and their directors. This is the objective of introducing this Active form. Okay. What are the various contents of this deck? I will briefly take you through. What are the key features, data fields, precautions while filing Active form, if you don't file, what are the implications, and if Active form is filed after the due date, what would be the implications. So this would be covered in this brief deck. Okay. What are the various key features of Active? The first key feature being verification of registered office address along with geotagging. Let me repeat, along with geotagging of the registered office. Okay. Next, OTP verification of email ID of the company. Next, verification of details of directors, statutory auditors, cost auditors wherever applicable, key managerial personnel including company secretary wherever applicable, details of annual filing forms, whether the particular company has filed annual filing forms, and photograph of internal and external building of registered office, also showing the director, KMP who affixed their signatures digitally. Okay. So let me go to the electronic form. which was made available on 24th February 2019 evening, and companies have been filing these forms. For the past couple of days, the speed of filing has really picked up, and we have encountered various queries, tickets on these active forms. We will, over the period of this webinar, we will answer all those queries. Every query that has been raised by the members would be answered. So before that, though it is a repeat webinar, let me take you through the field by field of this form. First of all, field number 1A, you have to give the corporate identity number of your company, and then press the button pre-fill. Once you press the button, the name of the company, address of registered office, all that stuff will get pre-populated. Okay. Then you have to hold for a minute. You have to fill the fields latitude and longitude. Okay. These details need to be filled in the relevant boxes. Okay. And then there is a field for email ID of the company. Okay. This email ID of the company is an editable field. Okay. It is an editable field. Please check what is the email ID which got pre-populated. If you want to edit your email ID, you can do it. Once you do it, press the button send OTP. Then on your email ID, whatever the originally stored or now edited, you will receive a OTP. Please enter the OTP in the relevant box, that is 1E, and then verify the OTP. Okay. Next, go to the 1F field and please answer whether the company is listed, yes, no. Okay, but depending upon the listing status of the company. Okay, and then go to the field number 2. In field number 2, number of directors, you have to click the button pre-fill above, which is opposite to the field number of directors. The moment you click the pre-fill button, the number of directors of that particular company will get populated, and this field the number of boxes in field number 2C will accordingly get pre-populated based on the number of directors available in the company, the said company. And let us say in field number 2B, if the maximum number of directors are beyond limits prescribed under the Companies Act 2013, you have to give the resolution and the SRN of the MGT 14, through which this particular resolution was filed with the MCA portal. Okay. And in 1C, please verify whether all the directors' details, namely the director identity number, name of the director and status of DIN, whether it is correctly exhibited, okay, as on the date of filing. Okay. And there is a note below the list of directors field. The note says, before filing active company tagging identities and verification active e-form, please ensure that the DINs of all directors are in approved status and neither they are deactivated due to non-filing of DR3 KYC nor disqualified under 164(2). So, these points need to be taken care by the professionals while filing this form. Okay. Once you ensure that all details, that is the DIN, name of the director and status of DIN is correctly pre-populated, go to the next field, that is details of statutory auditor. And there may be cases where one company has more than one statutory auditor. This will automatically get pre-filled, and see whether the number of auditors is correctly shown there in the form, and the category of auditor, whether it is individual or auditor's firm, all that need to be, it will be shown pre-filled, and please verify whether these details are correct. Let me point out this field, all these fields, statutory auditor field is pre-populated from ADT1 filed by the respective company. Okay, but once again check whether these fields are correct and as filed in ADT1. Okay, the details as to the category of auditor, income tax permanent account number of auditor or auditor's firm, name of the auditor or auditor's firm, membership number of auditor or auditor's firm's registration number, and period of account from which appointed from to. Let me reiterate here, we have received umpteen number of queries on the period of account for which auditors have been appointed from two dates. Please see whether the to date is on or after 31/3/2019, okay, and whether it is correctly pre-populated or not, you may have to see, and related queries would be answered after the deck is completely presented. We have lot many queries from professional members on this field, statutory auditors field. And then go to field number 4, whether the particular company is required to appoint a cost auditor. Yes, no. Okay. If the particular company is required to appoint a cost auditor, please fill the yes radio button and then press the pre-fill button. The name of cost auditor as has been filled through CRA2, it will get pre-filled here, and also compare whether the details that has been pre-populated here as to category of auditor, individual, partnership firm, LLP, membership number of the cost auditor, member representing the cost auditor's firm or LLP, name of the cost auditor or member representing the firm LLP, firm registration number, FRN of the cost auditor's firm or LLP, name of the cost auditor's firm or LLP, financial year to be covered by the cost auditor from to date. Similar to the statutory auditor's to date, it should also be, the to date shall also be 31/3/2019. Please ensure that these details are correctly pre-filled in the form. Once you are sure that the auditor's details, the cost auditor details have been pre-filled correctly, then go to the next field, that is the field number 5, which contains details of the managing director or chief executive officer or manager or whole-time director of the company. The number of roles will automatically get pre-populated, and accordingly see whether the DIN PAN name designation details of all the roles, whether it is managing director, CEO or manager or whole-time director of the company is correctly filled. Okay. Go to the field number 6, details of company secretary of the company. In the initial remarks itself, I said if applicable, see whether the PAN name and membership number details of the company secretary are correctly pre-filled. Ensure that these are correctly pre-filled, and go to the field number 7, where the details of chief financial officer of the company if applicable. Some companies, they are required to file the chief financial officer of the details of the chief financial officer. So please see whether the PAN number and name of the CFO details are correctly pre-filled. So the eligibilities have already been very clearly prescribed in the relevant rules of the company's rules. Okay, and then go to field number 8. Okay, field number 8, details of AOC form AOC 4, AOC 4 XBRL and MGT 7 filed for the latest financial year, that is financial year 2017 and 2018. The SRN of AOC 4 oblique AOC 4 XBRL and the SRN of MGT 7 will automatically get pre-filled. For a minute hold, please see whether your company has actually filed the forms, whether AOC 4 and or AOC 4 XBRL or and MGT 7. So these two forms necessarily have to be filed before you file the active form, and the details are pre-filled here. The SRNs of AOC 4, MGT 7 are pre-filled. Please see whether the SRNs are correctly represented here. Okay. If you are satisfied with the information that got pre-filled and wherever you have to enter, let us say, editable field of email ID the company, if that has been done and you have received the OTP and all the other stuff, until field number 8 everything has been correctly filled and you are satisfied, then go to the attachment. On attachments also we have received lot many queries. Those queries would be answered by Daraji here, and the first attachment being photograph of registered office showing external building and inside office, also showing therein at least one director / KMP who has affixed his digital signature, his or her digital signature to this form. So please attach the relevant attachments here and go to the declaration part. Please read the declaration properly and see that whatever you are declaring correctly. Let me read out the declaration that is notified here in this form. I hereby declare that the registered office is situated in the address mentioned above. The details of directors, KMP, auditors are presently associated with the company are correct. Then there is a field for verification. I hereby confirm and verify that the particulars given in the form herein above are true and are in agreement with the documents maintained by the company. Please ensure that this declaration and verification, whatever you are declaring and verifying, are absolutely correct and has no ambiguity. Okay, and then comes the digital signature. This e-form has to be digitally signed in case of OPC by one director, and in case of other than OPC either by two directors together or one director and one KMP. Okay, let me repeat. If it is OPC, it has to be digitally signed by one director. If a company is other than OPC, it has to be signed digitally by two directors or one director and one KMP. Accordingly, choose the designation and see whether the DIN is correct, and then digitally signed it, and in case the company secretary of the details, the membership number of the company secretary is correctly represented here. Please see that. Then comes the certification. Majority of the queries whatever we have received, how to certify the existence of the registered office of the company, how to take a photograph of the registered office of the company, what is latitude, what is longitude. So we have received umpteen number of queries on this form with specific reference to the registered office and the latitude, longitude, photograph, who has to feature in the photograph, how the photograph have to appear, how they have to be attached. So many queries have been raised even in the previous webinar also, and all those queries would be answered. Okay. So here a particular caution to the practicing members. So here the certification portion, the notified version contains, I declare that I have been duly engaged for the purpose of certification / verification of this form. It is hereby certified that I have satisfied myself about the identity of the company and its address based on the perusal of the original of the attached document. Please ensure that you have perused the original documents produced by the company and accordingly satisfy yourself and then give this certification. Okay. Next, the checkbox is all required attachments have been completely attached to this application. Before you attach, whether it is legible for a common man's view, please see whether it is legible, and the attachment which you are attaching is not garbage, it is relevant to the company. Please ensure that the correct attachment is attached with this form. Okay. Then comes the third checkbox. I have gone through the provisions of the Companies Act 2013 and rules thereunder for the subject matter of this form and matters incidental there too, and I have verified the above particulars including attachments from the original records maintained by the company applicant, which is subject matter of this form, and found them to be true, correct and complete, and no information material to this form has been suppressed. So, this is a third very important certification that has been incorporated in this form. Please be aware of whatever you are certifying, and you have understood that this certification has a lot of import to the profession. Okay, then go to the field number 4, where you further certify that email ID belong to the company. All the required attachments have been completely and legibly attached to this form, and I have kept a copy of this form and attachments thereto in my records for further reference. A word of caution here on the third sub field is, please keep a copy of this form and attachments whatever you have attached with this form for your record for future purposes. Okay. So, next sub field is, it is understood that I shall be liable for action under section 448 of the Companies Act 2013 for wrong certifications, if any, found at any stage. Then you have to digitally sign based on the category, whether you are a company secretary, whether you are a chartered accountant or cost accountant in practice. So, next field is whether you are an associate member or fellow member, depending upon the radio button and the membership, whether you are an associate fellow or fellow, accordingly choose the radio button, and the membership number automatically pops up and the COP number also pops up. So, please ensure that all this is correctly filled and you correctly certify digitally signed by the persons who are bound to sign this, and then you have to submit the form. Okay. Some standard photographs have been shown earlier also. Okay. And the standard photograph is on the registered office. How the registered office shall represent in the photograph is shown here. The registered office, please see the provisions of section 12 of the Companies Act 2013. The registered office name board shall represent the name in English and in the regional language as well. So, accordingly see whether it has the name in English and in the regional language, it contains the SIN number, registered office details and email ID of the company. Okay, the sample photograph has been shown, and it shall also include name in the registered name in the regional language as required under the section 12. And this sample photograph, standard photograph also shows the latitude and longitude of the registered office of the company as a sample. Okay, and how the director or the KMP, whoever who is part of the digital signature to this form should be there in the within the precincts of the office, registered office of the company. Even that has been shown. Even the latitude, longitude of the person who is sitting within the registered office has been depicted in the standard photograph for your information. Please see that these rules are properly followed, and these whatever model pics shown are properly captured with reference to your particular company, and your form is filed. Okay. Some of the precautions which I would like to flag it to professional members here in this webinar is, minimum directors limit should not be breached. If, let us say, if your company has to have minimum 2 directors, it should not fall below the minimum number of directors 2. Please ensure that, because if you fall below that, the active form will not go through. And accordingly, ensure that the minimum directors limit is not breached by the company. Okay. As I have been repeatedly saying, this is a pre-fill based form, and there is nothing except the email ID, latitude and longitude to be entered. So, entire form is based on the pre-fill and based on information which you have already filed through various event based form, whether it is directors appointment, KMP appointment, or statutory auditors appointment, or cost auditors appointment, or filing of AOC 4 or MGT 7. So, all that has already been filed. So, this form contains the relevant fields which have been collated from various forms which the company has earlier filed. So, nothing much to what you call enter except the latitude, longitude and the email ID of the company. So, please see whether the data that got pre-filled in this form is correct and as per your earlier filings. Okay. And next precaution which I want to flag here is, in case maximum number of directors exceeds the prescribed limit under the Companies Act 2013, enter the SRN of MGT 14 filed with purpose appointment of more than 15 directors. Okay. Company with all directors with the DIN status as approved shall only be allowed. We have received a lot many queries on the latest status of the director being disqualified or deactivated due to non-filing of DAR 3 KYC. So, what to do, etc. So, there is an escape route or exit route, not escape route. There is an exit route to secede the director who has earned DAR 3 DAR 3 KYC non-compliant director, or the director who has been disqualified under section 164(2). So, please secede the particular director and appoint new directors. Of course, Daraji will take in the question answer session more on the legalities. Please see that your company has directors with DIN approved status only for filing this active form. Okay. In case of listed company and other public company having a paid up share capital of 10 crore rupees or more, company shall have, in the relevant field I have already told you, the form itself will give the role based information, MD, CEO, manager, and in their absence whole time director and company secretary and CFO details. Please see whether these details are correct. Okay. And from this provision, government companies are excluded. Okay. Please note that. Okay. Next, in case company has a paid up share capital of 5 crore or more, as you are aware, it shall have a whole time company secretary, only exemption being government companies. Please see whether the particular company has a company secretary, and the details of the company secretaries are correctly pre-filled in the relevant field. Okay. Please ensure that. And next, ensure that company has filed all its due financial statements and annual returns. Here, a point to be noted is the active form checks the latest financial year, that is financial year 17-18, whether that company has filed annual return and balance sheet for the 17-18, and there are lot many queries on the company which have been exempted from following the uniform financial year under section 2 subsection 41 by approaching the NCLT or CLB or regional director as may be applicable. That will also be dealt during the question answers session, how to take care of those cases. And then as I have already said, how it has to be, this form has to be digitally signed, how many have to sign this digitally, whether one director or two directors. It is reiterated that in case of OPC, one director has to sign. In case of other than OPC, two directors or one director and one KMP, they have to sign digitally this form. Okay. And what are the implications on filing or on non-filing? Company's active compliance status shall be updated as active compliant / active non-compliant based on filing or non-filing. Let us say your company has filed on or after 25th April, your status of the company would be exhibited at front office as active compliant if your company has filed. If your company has defaulted from filing this form, the status would be updated as active non-compliant. Okay. Please watch out for the distinction between active compliant and active non-compliant. Okay. And similarly, directors of active non-compliant companies, they will be marked as director of active non-compliant company. Let us say I am director and I have a DIN, and against my DIN and name I will be shown as active non-compliant if my company has not filed active form. Okay. Please see that the company has filed active form without any default. Okay. And what if the company has not filed this form? Okay. There are certain forms which that particular company, defaulter company, cannot file. What are those forms? SH7, that is for change in authorized capital of the company. PAS 3, that is for change in paid up capital of the company. DAR 12, change in director except cessation. So here please note, if any director is a director disqualified under 164(2) or deactivated due to non-filing of DAR 3 KYC, if you have to exit him, secede him, you may use DAR 12 and secede him even after you defaulted from filing this active company after 25th April. Okay. Because after 25th April, this compliant status or non-compliant status would be updated. So please secede that particular director, and the DR 12 will be enabled for you to secede the particular director, and then you can file after appointing the relevant number of directors in the company, you can file the active form. Okay. And fourth form which will not be allowed for a non-compliant company is INC 22 in respect of change in registered office, and fifth form is INC 28 only in respect of two purposes. One is for amalgamation cases and second is demerger cases. Okay. I repeat, 5 forms would not be allowed to be filed by a company which is non-compliant in active filing. Those forms are SH7, PAS 3, DR 12, changes in director except cessation, INC 22 and INC 28 for amalgamation and demerger. Okay. And let us say you file the active form after the due date. What is the penalty, or what is that you may have to additionally pay? Okay. As you are aware, this active form is a free form. There is no fee prescribed for filing this before 25th April, but after the due date, if you want to file the active form, you may have to pay with a fee of 10,000 rupees. Okay. And company's active compliance status, it would be updated as active compliant. And as I already told, what is the status of directors, that would be shown at the front office. Directors of such company shall be marked as director of active compliant company only if the DIN is associated with all active compliant companies. Okay. If the particular company is non-compliant, they would be shown as director of active non-compliant company. Okay. That is it, and Daraji, I request you to take question and answers.
Before Daraji takes over, I will request to the members, while certifying this form, they have to be very, very careful, because the provisions are given, section 447 and 448 and all those things. So, as a company secretary, it is my earnest request to my members that while certifying this form, they have to be extra cautious. And number 2, since the last date is 25th April 2019, to avoid the last minute rush, as soon as possible, they should start working on it and file the form, because ultimately every machine has a capacity, so it should not be left to file the form at the last moment. Say by 15th April, you should plan to file the form. That is fine. If any form is left to be filed, then you can take care, but at last there will be huge, traffic in the system. So therefore, avoid that. System may crash, then you cannot claim that the form could not be filed because of the traffic. So please use this as soon as possible, file the form much before 25th April 2019. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dikshiti. Thank you, Bhaskarji. I would like to make out a few points here. As regarding filing, please follow the instructions given by your secretary. Please file it before the due date. Try to complete it before April 15th. The form has nothing. Just go write your SIN, click on pre-fill, it will pre-fill the registered office. Then you only have to fill as lat long as well as your email ID. Come to the directors. Don't try to fill the number of directors there. Just press the pre-fill button. Don't try to fill the number of directors there. Just press pre-fill button. If the number of directors is less than 2 in case of private and 3 in case of a public, please go back, file your DIR 12, make compliance, come back and then pre-fill. If it is within the limits and if the number of directors beyond the maximum limit, that is 15, please check whether you have filed MGT 14, the relevant MGT 14 for increasing the number of directors. If you have filed it, please fill the SRN number of the MGT 14, then go ahead. Once you go to the column where your directors are displayed, then name of the director and the status. This status column is a very important column against each DIN, because if the director is disqualified under section 164 or is deactivated due to non-filing of DIR 3 KYC, the form will not go through. There is a note below the table. You please read the note. If there is a director who is a director disqualified under section 164, please use DIR 12. DIR 12 as on date since October is active for filing of director who has been disqualified to be removed from the company, as well as if a director who has not completed his DIR 3 KYC, please tell the director to complete his DIR 3 KYC. Otherwise, you can use form DIR 12 for removal of the directors. Then coming below that, you have to just pre-fill, automatically it will pre-fill the details of KMP. KMP are divided into 3 categories. It is and, it is not, or. Mind you, it is managing director, CEO or manager, and in case all these 3 are not there, a whole time director and a company secretary and a CFO. It is not that it is optional, only optional is there, either you can have a MD, CEO, manager, in his absence a whole time director. Please read this provision of 203 very carefully. Then coming to the auditors, if you have filed ADT 1, it will automatically pre-fill. Then coming to the cost auditor, if the cost audit is applicable to the company, then you have to press yes, otherwise no. Then annual filings, if you have filed the latest annual return and balance sheet, it will pre-fill. Certify it and come. If we now will try to take questions, Bhaskarji will read out the questions. I will try to answer as maximum questions as possible. Bhaskarji, if you have any pre-questions before starting this questions, we can answer them first and then go ahead.
Daraji, we have checked the complaints or tickets raised with reference to active form. Many of the professional members have raised many queries. Of course, those queries were answered many times, but for more clarity, let me flag a couple of questions for your answer here. This is regarding ADT 1 and GNL 2. Many companies, we have taken a statistic on the number of GNL 2 forms filed between 1st April 2014 till 20th October 2014. The number is around 3.5 lakhs using others option. Okay? And beyond 20th October 2014, as members are aware, there is an e-form called ADT 1. Had they filed ADT 1, there is no problem. But these companies, some of these companies, not many of the companies filed using GNL 2 others option, ADT 1 as an attachment. Okay, as an attachment, PDF attachment or Word attachment, they have mentioned the period, and in some cases they have not even mentioned the period for which the auditors have been appointed. So this is creating doubts in the minds of companies and professionals how to go about the filing of this form. So what is MCA's take on how to handle these cases? Particularly the cases falling between 1st April 2014 to 20th October 2014. Your take on it, Daraji?
We have examined this at our end in MCA also. There are only a few cases, I will say a few cases among these 3.5 lakhs which are filed under those options, because GNL 2 others is used for many other purposes. Wherever you have filed ADT1 as an attachment between 1st April 2014 and 20th October 2014. These cases we are examining and we will coming out with a clarification on this. What we have observed in these cases, many companies are telling that they have filed before 20th October. It has been observed that after 20th October also companies have been filing GNL2 with others option with after the ADT1 form has been, e-form has been available for them, still they were having a practice of filing it. Therefore, all those who have done the GNL2 filing after 20th October, please you have to note that you have to again come back and file ADT1 with the necessary additional fees. Point number 1. Point number 2, there was a confusion among members about filing of ADT1, what is the period of filing. That is, auditor was supposed to be appointed for a period of 5 years. Many people have been using, many professionals have been doing this practice that they have, the appointment of the auditor is for a period of 5 years from the AGM to the conclusion of 5th year AGM. Therefore, the ADT1 which is getting pre-filled in INC 22A is the same which they had filed in 2014. But what the professionals have been doing and companies have been doing throughout these years is, they have filed MGT 14 correctly, but when they are coming and filing ADT1, they are filing ADT1 for every year. So please file, if you have been filing it for the last 4 years, complete the 5th year filing, then come back and file INC 22. If you have not filed ADT1, please file ADT1, then it will come and pre-fill. Otherwise, there is no other option but to file ADT1 and come back.
Daraji, further to whatever you have clarified, let us say I have filed ADT1 after 20th October 2014, but I have not mentioned the 2 period as on or after 31/3/2019. What is your advice to those companies?
They have to file ADT1 again.
Yes,
it is mandatory to file ADT1 again. Suppose that's what I told you. Companies have been doing as a matter of practice, reading the old provisions of the bold provisions, that is before the amendment of Companies Act 2013, and they have been filing for every year, ADT1 for every year. Actually, ADT1 has to be filed for the period of 5 years, from 2014 till 19. But they have been filing, and suddenly once the provision of 2000 as per Companies Act 2017 has come, they stopped filing ADT1, assuming that they need not file.
Okay.
But it is as a matter of Act, you have to file ADT1 for the current period also if you have.
Yeah, second question, Daraji, from the tickets is regarding the uniform financial year, section 2 subsection 41. Many companies, close to 400, 500 companies, we have taken out a figure based on the financial year applicable to some companies. The financial year are not aligned to the section 2 subsection 41, and we can classify them under 2 categories. One, who have approached the CLB, the earlier CLB or NCLT or RD, and taken an approval for following a calendar year or any other year other than the uniform financial year, those companies, how to deal with them. And secondly, they have not approached any of these authorities, whether CLB or NCLT or RD. So, how to treat the second as well as first categories of companies? Can you please throw some light on this?
There were more than around 700 companies like this which we have analyzed, Bhaskarji. Most of the cases we have found that neither these companies have been following their old financial years prior to Companies Act 2013, which they have been following, that is January to December or June to July. Such kind of companies are there. They are still continuing that practice, although 2 subsection 41 has come and it has given a time limit under which they had to come and fall in line with Companies Act 2013. These cases, there is no other option except for following section 2 subsection 41. In other cases, wherever they have filed INC 28, on case to case basis, we have a list of such companies which are not following the uniform financial year. We have cases, we have a list of each and every company which are not following. If you raise a ticket and if you have filed INC 28 and if that order is there, we will check the order and then update your status on a ticket to ticket basis, not as a whole. However, here I would like to highlight here that many of the orders also do not capture the date date of the financial year, do not have an attachment of the NCLT order. So my caution here to everybody is, whenever you are raising a ticket, kindly attach the order of the NCLT or CLB, whichever was applicable for you. Because in many cases it has been observed, the orders were for 1 year or 2 years, but they have been continuously following even after the expiry of the order also.
One basic question, Daraji, is on the companies, whether a dormant company under section 455, whether they have to file this active form, whether the dormant which were marked as dormant earlier to Companies Act 2013, whether they have to be filed. So, as you are already aware, the companies which were marked as dormant, they have been
remarked as
updated,
active.
remarked as active, but insofar as dormant declared on an application under section 455, whether those companies have to file active, that is a question quite frequently asked by members, professionals.
All dormant companies which are under, there is only one category of companies called dormant companies under section 455 of the Companies Act now. All these companies need not file active form. Active form is only for companies which are having the status as active as on 31st December 2017. Company which has a status of under process strike off, under liquidation, any other status other than active are not required to file the form active. If you have already filed STK2 and your status of the company is marked as under process strike off as at 31st December 2017, you are supposed to file this.
Daraji, in the previous webinar, we have seen many questions on the latitude, longitude of the company, how to capture the photographs. Can you please throw some light on
latitude, longitude? Our members have already been filing form CAG 149 right from 2 years. 2 years back in CAG 149, we have been capturing this lat long facility. Our members are well aware, better than us about this lat long facility. Still nowadays there are many apps available. Automatically you open your mobile and you can easily see the lat long. Please fill the lat long, and it is just a editable field.
So, how to take photograph of registered office, and how the director need to be represented there, and how he has to be represented, he or she has to be represented within the premises of the registered office. So, can you please throw some light on the distinction between these two?
The provisions of this section 22A active form is, there have to be 2 photographs. Photograph number 1 outside the registered office, photograph number 2 inside the registered office. Both the photographs should contain the person who is signing the form. Person who is signing the form means, in case of OPC, 1 director, other than OPC, 1 director, 1 KMP or 2 directors. The person who is signing the form, whoever, out of the 2 signatures, whoever, whether is in KMP or a director, should be there in both the photographs. The same person should be there in both the photographs. 1 photograph outside the registered office. Outside the registered office should depict clearly the signboard under section 12, which clearly states the name of the company, SIN of the company, address of the company. Outside that, it can be a gate, it can be a door, where you clearly display the registered office name of the company and registered office address as per section 12 of the companies. There, the registered office board, the gate or whatever, if it is a building, if it is outside the building, the person should be standing, seated, whatever he wants. Then the same person should be in the photograph which appears inside the registered office.
Okay. So, we have some queries from the members for this webinar. I will read out the queries, please answer them. Daraji, I request you to answer them. Active 22A for an OPC is asking for details of the second director. OPC has only 1 director. How can we give details for the second one where there is none?
It will not ask you any details for the second director. OPC has only 1 director. The Act mandates only 1 director. There is some misconception. I don't think so. We have not come across any cases. In our testings also, we did not come across any cases.
If at all,
if you have any doubt, please raise a ticket. We will get it resolved.
Yes. Second question being, ours is a joint venture of public sector undertaking which is registered as private company and audited by CAG as it is deemed government company. Therefore, company did not file ADT1 last year as not applicable. INC 22A is asking for filing of ADT1 form, kindly inform.
Point number one, yours is a deemed government company. If it is not a deemed government company, if it is a government company also, filing of ADT1 is mandatory. Whatever exemptions given to the government company do not cover provisions of section 139 subsection 1. 139 subsection 1 mandates filing of ADT1. Since 139(1) is not exempted, it is mandatory whether you are a government company, deemed government company or not, ADT1 filing is mandatory. If you have not filed, please file, come and file ADT, INC 22A.
Yeah. Next question, Daraji. If we take printout on A4 size paper along with mentioning of company name, SIN, registered office address and stick at door of the company office, is it valid proof that company has name board?
You have to read provisions of section 12. I would not like to comment here because provisions of section 12 are very clear on this. Please read them, follow them before certifying. Here I would like to indicate that many queries have been coming that as a professional in INC 22, how do I certify whether the registered office is there, whether the registered office is present or not. I would like to clarify here that whatever address mentioned in INC 22A is either coming out of the SPICE which you have filed, incorporation documents which you have filed, or form INC 22 which you have filed. In INC 22, there is a declaration from the company secretary, chartered accountant or a cost accountant, where he clearly says that he has gone, he has verified. All the compliances with respect to the registered office have already been compliant in the original form, that is INC 22, and 22A certification is based only on what is filed and what is there available in the MCA 21 database based on the filings done by the company.
Yeah. Next question. Auditor appointment period is given by financial year wise in ADT1 since 2013 Act mandated yearly ratification, and in the absence of tenure of appointment in the form ADT1 due to pre-filling of the active form for the period, we are not able to file active.
Again, good question here. This has already been clarified. I would like to tell you that the appointment for auditor is for a period of 5 years commencing from the AGM till the conclusion of the AGM of the 5th year. Ratification was a provision which was removed in Companies Act 2017. However, even if there was a ratification provision also, it wouldn't have made any difference because Act mandates appointment of the auditor for a period of 5 years. Once you have been appointed for a period of 5 years, every year you were ratifying. Once that provision is gone, if you had filed ADT1 for the correctly as per provisions of 139, you would have been appointed for a period of 2014 to 2019, and if you had filed ADT1, INC 22A will get pre-filled. Yeah. Since you have been doing every year ratification and filing ADT1 every year, the problem is arising.
Yeah. Next question. In what ways uploading the photographs of directors at registered office will help ROC / government in monitoring the shell companies / fraudulent companies? Will it serve the purpose?
The question is totally something like out of syllabus. However, we'll answer it. It is not for monitoring whether there are any shell companies or no shell companies. We are taking it as a matter of practice, as a matter of best corporate practice to have a photograph of the registered office of the companies, because section 12 has been implemented since 2013 and many INC 22, which is an STP form, it is getting certified with the professionals. We are just trying to make further compliance and enhance corporate governance limits, that's all.
Yeah. Is it necessary to take photograph inside and outside of the registered office with the GPS enabled camera, and latitude and longitude must be there on the photograph?
It is not mandatory. Photograph says there should be a photograph outside the registered office and inside the registered office with one of the director or KMP, whoever is signing the form. However, if you have that facility, you can use it for better governance. Otherwise, if you have a plain photograph, that is enough. Act does not mandate that you should have a GPS photograph and lat long should be mentioned in that. Yeah. However, I have to tell you that all the smartphones which are coming nowadays have that facility. If you use it, is better. Otherwise, also it's not a mandate of the Act.
Yeah. Next, company has filed application through INC 23 for shifting of registered office from one state to another. Application is under process. Company just maintains a communication office at old location. Is the company still required to do geotagging for old office?
Yes. I have to tell you till the order of the regional director in with respect to your INC 23 is passed and INC 22 is filed and registered, your office is still existing at the old place and is not shifted to the new place. So kindly follow the procedure and file INC 22. All the persons who have filed INC 23 for shifting of registered office beyond one state, kindly follow this and file INC 22A before 25th April.
Yeah. It is once again on the photograph. A requirement of photo as to whether address is required thereon or latitude etc. must be there or authorized person with registered office building with signboard etc.
Again, I will clarify here, one person who is signing the form, director or KMP, outside where it is clearly displaying the board of the registered office as per section 12 of Companies Act 2013, and the same person sitting inside the registered office and a photograph. The requirement of size, whether it has to be a PDF, it has to be a JPEG, whether both the photographs have to be placed one below the other and scanned in one attachment, or whether it has to be a separate attachment. These all are as per the requirement, as per the convenience of the person or the company who is filing this. We require two photographs if it is in the same page, if it is in a different page, whether it is a JPEG printed on the same page, doesn't matter unless the photograph is clearly visible, the registered office signboards and the director is clearly visible, there is no problem.
Yeah. Next, in case of group companies having same address, how to comply with photograph attachment? Can single photograph having name and address of all companies will be treated as compliance?
It depends on from case to case basis how you have displayed the board. If you have displayed the board in compliance with section 12, all the names, then the registered office properly as after complying with section 12, it is fine. Otherwise, it is non-compliance of section 12. Please comply, then take the photograph and file INC 22A.
Next question, do we actually require to tag the name of the company in Google Maps and attach with form?
Not required. Again, I have told you, there is no requirement of lat long on the photograph. There is no requirement of tagging your company in Google Maps and then submitting INC 20. The only requirement is we require two photographs, that's all, and nothing else.
Yeah. Next question, we have filed form GNL, he has not mentioned GNL 1 or GNL 2, on 16th September 2014 with ADT 1 as an attachment before e-form ADT 1 was notified. The form does not pre-fill the auditor's details. We have raised the ticket 10 days back but have not received any solution.
I will clarify here, Bhaskarji. Many of the people have filed GNL 1 also during those days. If they have mentioned GNL 1 SRN, I don't think so. Ticketing team at the back end will be able to access it and update it. If you have filed GNL2 and it has an attachment of ADT1, then your ticket would have been resolved. I don't think so there is any problem here. If you have filed any other form and GNL2 was used for many purposes during that period because many forms in MCA were not yet implemented. So we have to check, it's a case to case basis, just a query, we'll answer it.
Yeah. If any company has appointed statutory auditors in financial year 14-15 for 5 years till the period ended 31st March 2019 in GNL2 with having attachments ADT1 PDF format, AGM resolution, consent letter. I think he has mentioned, he has not mentioned further details. So probably his question is GNL2 ADT1.
We are examining GNL2 which have been filed specifically for the purpose of appointment of auditor with effect from 1st April 2014 to 20th October 2014. If there are GNL2 filed with others button only for ADT1, we are updating them on case to case basis. We are examining them and will come out. Other than that, please comply with the provisions of section 139 and file ADT1 and go ahead. Please do not wait for any other clarification. Whether you are a government company, do you require to file ADT1? Yes, you require to file ADT1. You have filed GNL2 attaching ADT1 after 20th October. Please do not wait for any clarification. You have to file ADT1 with the additional fees. There is not going to be any relief in this regard. Please file ADT1, comply and then file INC 22.
Is it mandatory that one of the directors should stand while capturing external photo of the building?
That's what I told you, there is no requirement unless the director is visible, the signboard of the company is visible outside the building or outside the gate of the registered office. That is enough. Whether standing, sitting, whether lat long is coming, whether the photographs are on the same page are not material for us.
Next question, should the company board that is to be attached contain details like contact number, email address, website, etc. to?
Please read section 12, you will get the answer.
How can approach if single address is used for many companies?
You can, there is no restriction on using single address for many companies, but please comply with provisions of section 12 where each company and the registered office of that company as well as the email ID, phone number is mentioned on the board of the registered office.
Yeah. Whether company address in regional language is mandatory in name board of the company or English language alone is okay.
Please read section 12. I think members are trying to test our knowledge on section 12 of Companies Act.
Appointment of statutory auditor is appointed by CAG in case of government company and is not required to file ADT1, then what is to be filled? In that case, it is not getting pre-filled. I think this has to be answered very emphatically.
This we'll answer. If you are getting yourself confused by reading provisions of section 139 subsection 5, please be sure that the notification for exemption of government companies does not include provisions of section 139 subsection 1 which mandates filing of ADT1. If you are a government company, if you are a deemed government company, it is mandatory for you to file ADT1 under provisions of subsection 139 subsection 1. Please file whether you are a government company.
Yeah. Next question, how can we take the pic of outside building of DLF Square, Gurgaon with name board of the company outside the building, as they will not allow outside to put any board and my office is on 15th floor.
Please go to your 15th floor. Just outside, you might have displayed the board outside your DLF building also, and just at the entrance also you might have displayed. Please take a photograph and display and attach it with INC 22A.
Naraji, this is a slightly different question on ADT1. He says details of auditors is not pre-filled. Form ADT1 was also filed through which auditor was appointed for 5 years from 2017 to 2022. So, what is the resolution?
There should not be any doubt the INC 22A will automatically pre-fill, because if you have filed ADT, I think there may be doing many errors, Bhaskarji. What happens? The filling, they are getting confused because of the ratification provisions, they are getting confused. From date and to date. The from date should be 31st March to 1st April 2018 and to date should be 31st March 31/3/2019. This is the error. And since the date mentioned here is falling within that range, ADT1 will definitely get pre-filled in INC 22.
In case what you are saying that the period 2017 to 2022 has actually been correctly represented in ADT1, please raise a ticket. Based on the ticket, our team will examine whether ADT1 was correctly filed with the to date as on or after 31/3/2019. If there is any issue, definitely it will be looked into.
Will definitely.
Yeah. Next, it's on CS. In case a company secretary in whole-time employment resigned on say 10th March 2019 and as on date, the form DAR12 is pending for filing. Can we file active form since it will not accept in case CS is not there in the company, even though law provides for 6 months time?
Law provides for 6 months time, but INC 22A will not get uploaded unless you have a company secretary, whole-time company secretary, if you are mandated to do it. Please file necessary compliances, then come back and file INC 22A.
Daraji, let me also flag you a concern raised by many professionals. Not only for company secretaries, even for KMPs, they are from time to time they are raising tickets saying that we have statutorily 6 months time to appoint a KMP, but this form is not going. So, can you please explain in case of auditor, in case of KMP's appointment, how to tackle, because they have statutorily 6 months time to appoint a KMP.
Bhaskarji, generally the provision says you should have a MD, you should have a CEO, manager or a manager. In case all these three are not there, a whole-time director. Appointment of MD, CEO or manager is for a period of 1 year. Since 6 months time they are talking, 6 months, if you take the last AGM, that is 30th September as a standard, 30th September 2018, 6 months is over, they mandatorily should have. These are all hypothetical questions which are having. However, if you have any genuine queries, we are ready to answer it. But as for the Act mandates, we have examined all these provisions in detail and then come up with the INC 22A. The provision of having 6 months is already expired. They have to file.
Okay.
Here I would like to tell you, Bhaskarji, regarding this appointment of key managerial persons. They are divided into 3 categories. One is managing director, CEO or manager. Either of these 3, if these 3 are not there, then a whole-time director, and is more important because and a company secretary and a chief financial officer. People are skipping, everybody, what most of the queries we are receiving in the ministry also is, they are telling, sir, I already have a CEO, I already have an MD, well, then my form INC 22 is not getting, they are forgetting that a company secretary as well as a CFO are also mandatory. There was a query, Bhaskarji, since we are having time, many people are having a director finance and the same person is also appointed as a chief financial officer. They are filing DIR 12 as a director finance and uploading, and they are telling, coming to INC 22 and trying to upload INC 22, INC 22A is not going ahead. Here I would like to tell that once he is in 2 capacities, a DIR 12 is also required for him to be appointed as a CFO.
Next question, whether same email ID can be used for multiple companies?
It is the choice of the company because Companies Act mandates certain provisions where service of notice is on the email ID of the company. This email ID which we are collecting in INC 22A is OTP verified, further certified by the director that this is the email ID of the company itself. Any notices served on this mandatorily as per provisions of Companies Act may have a larger implications. It is better for the directors to understand and give the email ID.
Yeah. Next question, how should a company whose financial year is from January to December file form INC 22A? The last financials filed are up to 31st December 2017. So, March 2018 data not getting prefilled.
If you have taken exemption under section 2 subsection 41 from either CLB or NCLT, and if the period is exempted, the period which you have specified here in your query is exempted, on case to case basis we will examine the INC 28 which you have filed, then give you an exception and allow you to file INC 22A. Otherwise, you are requiredly mandatorily to follow the uniform financial year. There is no other solution in this regard. We have been receiving many queries on this. None of the people have filed INC 28, which is the copy of the order to be filed on behalf of CLB or NCLT for exemption under 2 subsection 41. In those cases, we will not be giving any exemption.
Yeah, you mean to say only relief would be given to those companies
on case to case basis after we have examined the back end with where they have approached NCLT, there is a specific order, and then only we will allow.
Yeah. Next, I am shifting my register office of my company from one state to another state. Form MGT 14 for special resolution is already filed with the ROC. What should I do in case of INC 22A?
Effectiveness of shifting of registered office will be confirmed by the regional director only on approval of INC 23. After INC 23 is approved, you will have to file INC 28 as well as INC 22 for shifting of. Once INC 22 is registered, then the effect of registered office will come. In the interim period, in this interim period where you have already filed MGT 14 which is approved, as well as your INC 23 which is pending before any regional director for approval, your registered office has not yet changed. So please file INC 22A before 24th April with the existing address, which will automatically be updated once you file INC 22.
Next question, will active non-compliant companies be allowed to file annual filing forms and charge documents in case they are unable to file within the due date?
Only 5 forms are not allowed to be filed, that is shifting of registered office, amalgamation, increase in authorized capital, changes in directors. Other than this, all forms will be allowed to file, but a word of caution here, of course change in directors I forgot, Bhaskar. A word of caution here, once 25th April crosses, many of the forms, like if you have directors who are disqualified, you have directors who have not filed DIR3 KYC and are having the status deactivated for non-filing of DIR3 KYC, these changes will not go through in DIR12. Please be cautious, please make aware of all your companies and all the persons related to the companies that these forms are not going to go through after 25th April. If you have to make any changes in the registered office, changes in the directors, changes in the authorized capital, please do before it. Otherwise, once 25th April is there, the 5 forms which you have categorically told will not be allowed. And after 25th April, if you are coming up with a query that I am trying to file INC 22A, but I have a disqualified director on my board, I am not able to file, these things will not be entertained.
If one director of company is disqualified under section 164 and rest of the status of DIN is approved, whether such companies can file this form or not?
It is an hypothetical question, because if a director is disqualified under 164, he is telling Bhaskar, under 164, the status of the director in MCA portal will be disqualified under section 164 subsection. So, once his name is shown against his DIN, the status is shown as active, that means he is not disqualified. This is just an hypothetical question.
The next question, the property at which the registered office of the company is situated has been sold by the promoters cum directors, and the process of shifting of registered office, which is to be shifted from the jurisdiction of one ROC to another, has been initiated by the company. Is it okay to attach NOC from owner of registered office and utility bill along with form INC 22A to ensure more authenticity of registered office?
Point number 1, registered office is not yet shifted. We would not like to get into the nitty-gritties whether it is sold, it is shifted or not. As of today, I have already clearly told you, till the order is passed, order is confirmed by the regional director, your registered office is not shifted. So, please comply with the provisions of Rule 12. Further, there are no attachments which are required to be given in INC 22A other than the photograph outside and inside the registered office. Utility bills are not supposed to be given. If you have any changes in the registered office, please use form INC 22 here and then come and do the registered office change. Bhaskar, here I would like to highlight to everybody that as regards INC 22A, it is a purely pre-filled form. Only whatever filings they have done and which are existing in the master data are getting pre-filled. If you talk about registered office, if you want to make any changes in registered office, please file INC 22. If you want to make any changes in the directors, before filing INC 22A to be more compliant, because one declaration is there in INC 22A which says that whatever is declared in INC 22A is the same as which is available in the books of the company as on date. So, if you have any changes in directors, please use form DIR 12, make all the changes, then come back to INC 22A and file. If you have any changes in the auditors, whether appointment, reappointment, you have not filed ADT1, please file them and come. If you are required to file in cost auditor, please file ADT1 for cost auditor. If you have not completed your annual filings, please complete your annual filings. As regards appointment of KMP, please make appointments, reappointments, any changes using DIR 12. After complying with all these forms, the original compliance lies in all these forms. INC 22 is only a summary of all your compliances.
CRA 2 for cost auditors.
Yeah, CRA 2, sorry.
whether the dormant company has also to file INC 22A, as there is neither exemption for the same nor these companies are filing AOC 4 and MGT 7, as without the SRN of these forms cannot be filed. Please clarify.
Very boldly it is stated that this is not applicable to a dormant company under section 455. There is no exemption required to be given because MCA portal has two statuses only. One status is called active, the other status is called dormant. Dormant also, today's date in MCA portal it is clearly depicted dormant under section 455. There is no other status. The other statuses which are available are either the company is active, company is dormant, under process strike off, under liquidation. Other than this, there are no other statuses. Other interim statuses like amalgamated are there. So, this is applicable only for companies as on 31st December 2017 with status as active on the portal.
This question is quite different. One of our companies has joint auditors, but the firm is taking the details of last auditor appointed out of those two auditors. What shall be done in such cases? I think
it is a pure ticket to ticket case basis, because what details you have filed in ADT 1 just get pre-filled in INC 22A. There may be error which you have filed in this. Please raise a ticket, we will get it resolved.
Yeah. Is the purpose of this form is to comply with section 12 and therefore have registered office address reflected in the picture showing the exterior of office?
Yes, as I have already mentioned, the whole purpose of this is to have two photographs, one outside and one inside, with the same person who has signed the form, whether he is a director or a KMP, both inside and outside the form.
That's all, Daraji.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sri Shashidhara, Joint Director MC, and Sri Bhaskaran, Industry Principal Infosys Limited. We hope that with these, all the resolution of the queries, it will help the professionals in filing the form speedily, and it's an earnest request once again to please not to wait for the last time and file the forms. Please file it much before the due dates, because no further extension would be granted. And this has been the second series of this webinar, which was first series was held on 7th March, and we heartily thanks MCA and Infosys for joining this initiative of ICSI along with the MCA to resolve the queries, and we'll continue this endeavor in the future also for the benefit of the members. And I would request to give a planter as a Go Green initiative of ICSI to Daraji.
Thank you.
And also to Bhaskarji.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks a lot, both of you, once again.